Well, good morning, everybody.
Well, good morning.
All right, it's going to sound weird, but if you want to, you can grab your blue book and turn to 179, or else you can look up on the side of the wall here, and we have 179 right up there. We're going to sing All Fly Away. Let's stand and sing. I'm so glad to be not the only one singing on the live stream. So, Pete, go ahead and play 179 in the blue book.
I thought you were going to.
Not right now. By the way, while we're standing, Pete's getting ready. Let's go ahead and pray. Bobby, do you open us up in prayer?
Yeah. Dear Heavenly Father, we thank you for bringing us back together again. Dear Lord, we thank you for your many, many blessings. And dear Lord, may we just make a stand for you, and let's just do thy will. Amen.
Amen. All right, 179. Let's go ahead and sing.
I forgot to do it.
Click on the folder. Go back to the main screen.
On the bottom?
Yeah.
Okay.
Remember now, right? B179, I'll fly away now. We took down the old projector. We found out it's actually working. We've got another issue we have to deal with, but once we fix that, we'll be able to project up here. I think it's gonna work really good. As you can see, it's nice and bright, and it's actually gonna be bigger because it's gonna be the hard back. So. Someday when this life is over, on God's celestial slave, I'll fly away, oh glory, I'll fly away. Hallelujah, I'll fly away. When the shadows of this life is gone, like a bird flying through the bars of fun, I'll fly away. I'll fly away, oh glory, hallelujah, by and by, I'll fly away. It's the glory makes a day, I'll fly away. To a land where those will never end, I'll fly away. I'll fly away, oh glory, I'll fly away. When I'll fly, hallelujah, by and by, I'll fly away. I'll fly away, oh glory, I'll fly away. I'll fly, hallelujah, by and by, I'll fly away. Amen. All right, we're now going to go to our Sunday school class. Dave, come on up here. Make sure your mic's off. Go back in here.
Can't hardly hear with the mask on.
All right.
From up there.
I have to turn it up.
Can you hear me, preacher?
I can hear you.
Can you hear me loud enough, preacher?
Yeah.
You want me to holler?
Yes.
Scream? Raise Cain?
Good morning, everybody.
Whoa, good morning.
A little bit too loud, Bob?
No,
I'm turned up.
you just went from here to here and it was just like a surprise.
It's good to be back at church this morning. I miss church a lot. I don't know about you all. This morning we're in Revelation chapter 10. We're going to do verses 1 to 11, which is the complete chapter. I thought about this morning, and I wanted to drop back to chapter 9 because I didn't get to the 6th trump last time. And these trumps and these revelations are very important. If you haven't read Revelations, I would suggest to take your time in starting and reading of Revelations from the beginning to the end. Don't read it quickly. Read it with understanding. It will bless you. It really will. I never realized how much was in Revelations. I'm going to start in verse 20 in chapter 9. And the rest of the men which were not killed by these plagues, yet repented not of the works of their hands, that they should not worship devils and idols of gold and silver and brass and stone and of wood, which neither can see nor hear nor walk. Neither repented they of their murders, nor of their sorceries, nor of their fornication, nor of their thefts. We're halfway through Revelation. We're halfway through the 7 years. Me and the preacher talked last week, and we know there's been at least half of the world has been consumed through death of the horsemen, the volcanoes, the fires, and the destruction. All these have come, all these plagues have come, and these men have faced demons out of the pits of hell themselves for 5 months. And in my lesson, it says none repented. It's not just they didn't, it says none repented. And you know, I think about this. I think about men not repenting in the face of God. They're spit directly in the face of God. When you got meteorites falling from heaven, you got angels standing on the four corners of the earth. You got volcanoes, you got the sun, you got the moon, you've got everything going on, and you still live in your own self. It's pretty hard. I wanted to open that up this morning, and I want us to keep in mind of the mentality of the earth and the mentality of the world, and why we're fallen under the revelation of Jesus Christ the way we have. And I can understand. I can understand the destruction. There's been, Revelation 9, there's been 3 woes that's handed out. And that's in the 5th trump, the 6th trump, and the 7th trump. The 5th trump and the 6th trump was open, and there's a lot of destruction. The 7th trump is not going to be open until next week in verse 11, in chapter 11. But we're going to step into a little bit of good things, of all the things that's happening, and all the misery, and all the killing, and all the destruction, and all the life. And, you know, it's not just been in one region. We're talking worldwide. We're talking mountains falling. We're talking volcanoes exploding. We're talking about no food. We're talking about famines. And we're talking about so many different things when we get to this point. And I just sort of wanted to bring you up today to get you in mind. You know, we're going through a coronavirus that's killed a little over 1.6 million, 1.7 worldwide. It's a big Disney World. So let me get started in our verses this morning in our chapter. Chapter 10, verse 1. And I saw another mighty angel come down from heaven, clothed with a cloud, and a rainbow was upon his head, and his face was as it were the sun, and his feet as pillars of fire. I like to read my verses before I read any commentaries or read anything about what's going on in a particular verse. Sometimes commentaries and things that's going on put an idea in your mind of what you think it is, but it's not what it is. It might appear to be something certain. What I'm trying to say, I guess, is this appears to be in the eyes of some people the Lord Jesus Christ. It's describing what it described in the beginning of Revelations. It describes his feet of fire. It describes a rainbow. He's clothed in a cloud. I mean, think about it. But if you read on, you realize, or at least I realize, or I don't think it was Jesus Christ. I think it was just an angel. One thing that I've learned from this that I've heard, and I wasn't sure of, but I've learned that angels come in different sizes. I mean, it's like the Oscar Mayer, there's short kids, little kids, big kids, kids crying, fat kids, skinny kids. Armor hot dog, there you go. You watch too much TV. But you get my meaning of this. They got a strong angel that had the book. This is a giant angel. They got little angels. They had angels on four corners there. They got a big angel that's going to go around the earth hollering, whoa, whoa, whoa. So the angels of different sizes. If there's angels of different sizes, when the pits of hell was opened last week, we've seen that there's demons of different sizes. It says the demons are reserved in hell to the day of the Lord. But these little dragon demons, these little scorpion demons showed up last week when I was reading it. It's just nothing but torment. And the torment for 5 months, but they're always going to be in hell. When a person goes to hell, they're going to have to deal with this day and night. There's no night or no day, but constantly, because there's no time, but consistently. So, angels come in long, different sizes. Verse 2, and he had in his hand a little book open, and he set his right foot upon the sea, and his left foot upon the earth. Bobby, how big would that person be? He set one foot upon the sea, and one foot upon the earth. He's gigantic. He had to be gigantic. And the thing that gets me, well, when we get into it, I sort of had to laugh because I thought about this. But we're talking about a very large angel. Some people said that it was possibly Michael, an archangel. And some of the reasons that come to mind of the glowing, of the feet, of the cloud, of the brightness of who he was, is Jesus himself. Because the Bible tells us when we go to heaven, we'll be like him. When Moses went up on the hill, he came back, he clothed like Jesus. As we grow in our Christian life, as we move forward with Jesus as our guide, as our personal Savior, we become more and more like Jesus. And that's the goal, is to become like Jesus. So these angels that spend time with Jesus are like Jesus. And they glow. And they look. But this is just another angel. A very large angel at that. And cried with a loud voice as when a lion roared. And when he had cried, seven thunders uttered their voices. Everything's a group of sevens. We've had everything. It comes in groups of seven. And I have a list, and I don't have the list right here in front of me, so I'm not going to go into it. But everything that Revelation presents us with is in a group of seven. Everything that God does. Pardon me?
You know why?
That's the number of completion. I know exactly why. But the point being, everything is in a group of 7. And even though that we did six trumpets last week, we're still going to get to the 7th one next week. It'll be complete in time and distance. And when the 7 thunders had uttered their voice, I was about to write. And I heard a voice from heaven saying unto me, seal up those things which the 7 thunders uttered, and write them not. You know, I always wonder, and this is not the first time I've heard this, but I've always wondered what those 7 thunders had to say. I always wondered if it was some kind of goodness upon the earth, or sometime, I mean, there's so much badness. What other bad news can you hit us with, or hit the earth with, to totally just bring people to their knees? I wonder what destruction lays under the voices of those 7 thunders. But you know, God didn't mean to reveal everything. We don't need to know everything. This is the work of God. This is His creation. This is His doing. You know, when we get to heaven, all things will be complete. We'll see all things as they are. We don't understand the things that's going on. Well, it's not up to us to understand. It's up to us to be obedient to what He asks us to do. It's up to us to be obedient to the Word. It's up to us to be ready when the day comes. You have to take care of it. I believe that now more than anything with this virus. I've seen people that won't leave the house, that's young, that's 45 years old, that's terrified. They're terrified of the virus, they're terrified of people, they're terrified of anything they do. They're totally terrified of dying. They're terrified that this virus is going to take them out. I'm getting ready to turn 65 in July, and I heard the preacher say that he had, surrounding situations that could cause death with this virus, as well as all of us could. God created this. We have to have our faith in God. This is God's word. I think of the 144,000 that is sealed. In chapter 9, when these beasts were brought up out of hell, they were protected. They weren't touched. Christians weren't touched. We're sealed by the hand of God. Only thing that can happen to us is what God allows to happen to us. We shouldn't be running in fear. I'm not saying run to it. I'm not saying jump in the middle of it. But what I'm saying is we shouldn't hold the great fear that we hold of this virus. We should be careful. We need to do our social distancing. We need to wear masks. But it shouldn't stop our lives. And it's stopped a lot of people's lives. Verse 5. And the angel which I saw stands upon the sea and upon the earth, lift up his hand to heaven, and swore by him that liveth forever and ever, who created heaven and the things that therein are, and the earth and the things that therein are, and the seas and the things which are therein, that there should be time no longer. He swore to God. He told him. And he's asking, when's this going to come up? When you going to bring all this to me? It's time. And he's not talking about time ending. He's talking about Revelations. When's judgment going to come? When is it going to be declared? We know the time's not going to end. The world's afraid that the world's going to end. I don't look at the end of the world. Maybe people do. I look at it's going into another phase. The world's still going to be here. The earth's still going to be here. It's going to be here for at least 1,000 years. We're going to be in heaven. It tells us back in Revelations, 6 or 7, that all the souls of all kindreds, of all nations are gathered together, the Christians. We're going to be in heaven. We're going to be with God, with Jesus. So we know that the world is going to last at least another 1,000 years. But the world goes beyond that. We don't know how long. We don't know what God's plan is. We don't know. But you know, we'll be present in that. We'll be here for that. But Jesus, God, He keeps delaying this, and I'm finding little pauses in between His work. And that's His work. And I asked the preacher, have you noticed when things are moving along, they got 30 minutes of silence in heaven, and they stop here for this, and they slow down here for that? What's God doing? God said He don't want none to suffer. He don't want none to perish. He wants to give every soul upon this earth every opportunity that He could possibly give them to come to Him. He don't want none to perish. And these little pauses are for people willing to come to Christ, are willing to step back and scratch their heads and, whoa, nobody did it but God. We need to get down and pray a little bit. Nobody but God. Think about earthquakes and tsunamis and volcanoes. I mean, look at our earth. I told Donna, I said, look outside. I said, we got beautiful mountains, tomato plants, green grass. It looks so beautiful and stuff. Huh. It's just a period of time. It's just a period of time. But in the days of the voice of the seventh angel, and this is the seventh trumpet from chapter 9, when he shall begin to sound, the majesty of God shall be finished, as he hath declared to his servant the prophets. So when the seventh trumpet sounds, that's when his request, time no longer, will be accomplished. And the voice which I heard from heaven spoke unto me again and said, go and take the little book which is opened in the hands of the angel which standeth upon the sea and upon the earth. You know, I read that and I sort of smiled and scratched my head. This angel that stood up on the sea and this angel that stood up on the earth, how big do you think he is? I think he's very, very large. He stretched one leg in the ocean, one leg on land.
Well, if you're at the beach, it's not that far.
Pardon me?
If you're at the beach, it's not that far.
You're right. But I don't think he's at the beach.
I don't think so.
What's the mountains or whatever they call them in Scotland? You got the high cliffs, you got the ocean. You know what I'm talking about? I don't know if it's Scotland or Ireland. You know what I'm talking about. I can see them stretched out a half a mile one way, inland, sort of got one leg propped up there. But you know what I thought about when I read that? God told Jesus until he made the earth his footstool. It's his footstool. But the thing that I smiled about, that I had to think about, Was he told him to take the little book from the angel's hand? Now this is a child. I mean, if it fits in his hand, it's not no little book. And if it's a little book, it has to fit in his fingers when he hands it down. Are you with me in what I'm saying here? I mean, when I looked at that, that's one of them things that I have to wonder about. Preacher, you want to clarify on that? Is that is that a real angel standing there? It says it is, and I believe what the Bible tells me.
There's a verse, I don't remember, it's one of the major prophets in the Old Testament that was talking about basically the Lord coming back and smiting the enemies of Israel, and talk about his clothes being dripped in blood. They have one foot on one mountain and another foot on another mountain. Bob, you know what I'm talking about?
Isaiah.
And Isaiah, I think.
I don't know exactly where, but
Yeah, so I think this picture is talking about Jesus. When Jesus comes back, remember, he came as a baby last time, meek and mild and no threat to anybody. But when he comes back the next time, I think he's not going to be a little baby. He's going to be the reigning king. And let's just say he's going to be the big man on campus.
Well, you know, they talk about the first coming of Christ and the second coming of Christ. And this is in the middle. And wouldn't that sort of take things out of context if it was Christ that was standing there?
What's that?
Would that sort of take things out of context if that was Christ standing from the ocean to the land? It's described and it sounds like Christ, but I believe it was an angel.
Well, sometimes Revelation is not chronological.
Well, it's almost all of Revelation has some form of metaphorical or theoretical. It's all kind of different stuff. But I don't know. I'd have to research that more.
That's a good one. And I thought about that this morning. But I thought about the size of the book. And I went up to the angel, verse 9, and said unto him, give me the little book. And he said unto me, take it and eat it up, and it shall make thy belly bitter, but it shall be in thy mouth sweet as honey. Was he the only one that was asked to eat a book? Was John the only one in the Bible that was asked to eat a book? Ezekiel was asked to eat a book. But you know, this book is contradictory of itself. If you think about it. It'll make your belly bitter, but it's sweet as honey.
In fact, Ezekiel didn't know what sweet in his mouth, it didn't make his belly bitter.
Are you sure? Why was he asked to eat a book, though?
Right, a roll, let's say.
Pardon me?
Yeah, you're right.
Why was Ezekiel asked to eat a book? Actually, it's a scroll, it's an open scroll.
I believe because of the spot Israel was about to go through, because it said that it was filled with lamentation and blood.
If you follow me, or if you follow what we talk about in Revelations, not necessarily me, or if you've read Revelations in any kind of depthness at all, and I told a preacher, and I didn't realize it, what I was saying, Revelations will bring you to your knees. Because there's so much destruction, there's so much death, there's so much suffering, there's so much that it makes you want to cry when you look at your wife or your husband, when you look at your brothers and your sisters that's not saved. And you know what? When people tell you that you can't tell the future, you read Revelations. You can tell the future. Because this is futuristic. This is what God said, and this is true. And you know the destruction of the lost. You know what's coming. You don't know where they lay in that, but you know what's coming. You know that they're going to be judged. You know what happens with hell and the lake of fire. You see it. I mean, you know. And I told the preacher, it made me want to cry. If you remember, I told him that a week or two ago. The word of God is sweet as honey. Ezekiel did not want to witness to the people of Israel. Ezekiel did not want to go to the leadership. He didn't want to go. They gave him dirty looks. They talked to him nasty and mean. They were downright there. The same thing that we encounter on the streets when we witness. Every time we go to witness, Ezekiel encountered that. And he didn't want to, but God wanted him to witness to Israel. So God said, eat this book. The sweetness of the words. The sweetness that you're saved. The sweetness of hearing you're going to go to heaven. The sweetness of hearing that God takes care of you. The sweetness of hearing the pearly gates in the home and everything. Oh, just so sweet in your mouth. But what's suffering? No compassion. Where's our compassion? And I'm talking to me as well as you. I said and thought about where's the passion? The passion. And I'm not saying that anybody's going into sin. I don't know. I don't care. It's not. But the preacher preaches. The preacher preaches. When you start touching on somebody's pet sin or you start touching on that stuff, what they want to do, they want to get up and leave. They get mad. They're rebelling. They like the sweetness of the words. They like the sweetness, know that they're being saved. They like the sweetness, but they don't want to hear it. So Ezekiel had to hear this. He had to eat that book. He had to get, there's not just, we have to take the good with the bad, and it's not bad. When the preacher's preaching to us and we're doing things wrong, we need to adjust. It's not bad. It's not to hurt you. But people don't want to hear that. So Ezekiel had to feel it. He had to taste the sweetness of the words. He had to get them bad words down in him. He had to realize that people are dying. People are going to hell. Your brothers and your sisters and everybody around you that you see falling out. Because Ezekiel didn't want to witness. Just like we get lazy and don't want to witness. We get lazy and look at our lost ones and say somebody else will do it. We get lazy and forget about what we need to do. When God says, get up off your butt and go next one, but he's a mean old person. The people that Ezekiel had to talk to was mean too. There was his own people. God told him it's not like they're in a strange tongue. Or it's not like you don't understand or don't know or can't talk. That's the goodness. That's the goodness. I'm probably more guilty than anybody else. We say we get tired of talking to We get tired of witnessing. We get tired of telling them what's coming. We know what's coming. We see it. A lot of people have no idea what's over the horizon. But we know. It talked about an angel. Had the keys, was given the keys to heaven, and came to earth and opened the bottomless pit. I don't think you've seen that angel. I think he was as a meteorite. When he hit the ground, the earth cracked open, and these demons come out of it. Think about it. We know this. It's true because we're told in the Bible. God's word is true. And I took the little book out of the angel's hand and ate it up. And it was in my mouth, sweet as honey. And as soon as I had eaten it, my belly was bitter. That's verse 2. Last verse we got is verse 11. And you know what the angel said to him in verse 11? He said unto me, thou must prophesy again before many people and nations and tongues and kings. Why did he say that? Because John knows the truth. He had compassion for the people. He had compassion for the world. We're not just talking about a small community of people that we can't reach. We're not talking about just a few over here or a few over. We're talking about worldwide. My mom once told me, she said, son, she said, no matter how hard you work, you cannot save the world. I told Mom, I can't save anybody. I said, Jesus Christ can. And that's when I was a young Christian. We all need to be young Christians again. We need to be bubbly and full. We need to be at the point where we want to witness and we want to tell our loved ones, we want to tell our aunts and uncles and everybody, hey, let me tell you about Jesus. We need to get back to that point. You know what happened? We settle in, we age a little bit, and we go to church. And, you know, we don't need to do that no more. And somebody else will do that. We need to get the compassion back in our hearts. We need to get the love for people back in our hearts. And it's not that we hate people. It's that we got comfortable and we got easy. And that's what in the Ezekiel was comfortable and God was putting him through it. And he didn't want to witness. John might be getting comfortable, but they gave him the zeal that he had got. Because the angel told him. Nations. At this point of chapter 11, how much of the 7 years do we still have left?
I know we're at the second half. So we at least, it couldn't be any more than 3.5 years.
It's not no more than 3.5 years. But you know what we start with next week? It opens our eyes. We're going to go to the 2 witnesses. And it says the 2 witnesses will witness for 1,230 score or 30 days. That's how much time we still have left. We're at this point, and we're halfway through Revelation, we're just about, and they still got what?
3.5 years if you're halfway through.
1,203 days. So we ain't even started the second half. The preacher last week, we try to talk and combine how many people, 8 billion people had already been destroyed on the face of the earth.
Right.
At this, there's going to be an army that's going to come up on the earth that's 200 million, and my book had a question whether it's 200 million men army or 200 million demon army. But they're going to kill another third of the earth. And I don't want to get into that deep because I had my lesson for today. But I want to show you the destruction that's already occurred and what's still to come. I cry for my family. I cry for my wife. I look at my kids and my grandkids and wonder about their futures. And it's like when churches, they're not saved. They don't hear the gospel. I got a little 2-year-old granddaughter, Trinity, beautiful, smart as a whip. Doesn't know nothing about church. I don't see her enough to even tell her about church. 2 years old, smart. She puts sentences and stuff together. She's smart. I look at my neighbors and I wonder about the one that lives in front of me. I wonder about the old woman that lives beside me. We call her Catwoman. Looks like she's 100 years old. She'll go to church. I heard a prediction that 75% believe that in America believe that they're going to go to heaven. I don't know how this prediction was, but I heard it. 75%. Preacher, you believe 75% of the people in America is going to go to heaven? You believe that there's that many people in heaven saved that's accepted the Lord Jesus Christ as their personal Savior?
I think 7.5% might be saved. I'm surprised that only 75% of people said that they were. You know what I mean? Every time you talk to a person who's lost, the first thing that they do is they say, "Oh yeah, I'm a Christian." They don't even know what it means, but "Oh yeah, I'm a Christian." So.
And I understand that because I'm right there with you. And before I call it quits and turn it back over to the preacher, if you've been following these classes and you know the destruction that's coming, you know the things that's going to happen, and you got family that's lost, you should have try to reach them. Ezekiel, and I can't stress this point, is that he didn't want to witness to the country of Israel, to the Israelites, because they were mean and they were hateful, and they didn't want to hear it. They were set in their ways. But he ate that book. And when he ate that book, and his stomach hurt, because he seen the destruction that was coming upon the people, that somebody that was him that had to announce that destruction, that had to try to lead as many as he possibly can to Jesus before the destruction came up on, because today is the day of salvation. What I read to you might be already too late for them people. People waiting, people saying, well, when I get ready to die, or 15 minutes before this, or 20 minutes before that, or, oh man, I skated past that. I'll wait the next time. When you've got a demon, listen to this, church. When you've got a demon coming out of the pits of hell, with the face of a horse, a scorpion, it's got a face of a man, a hair of a woman, it's got a crown on his head, it's got armor on it, and it's the torment and you go through that and still not profess Jesus as your personal Savior. I mean, it's something to think about. In saying that, I'm going to close and turn it back over to the preacher. And I appreciate it. I appreciate the time. And again, it is good to be back in church.
Good job, Dave.
Thank you, preacher.
Socially distance yourself up.
Turn your mic off, Dave.
Pardon me?
Turn your mic off.
All right. I'm surprised Dave, he actually finished on time, which is, actually finished a little bit early. All right, we'll go ahead and, we'll say prayer, be dismissed from Sunday school, and we'll start morning worship here in about 10 minutes. Heavenly Father, I thank you for this day. I thank you, Lord, for the folks who came out in the church house today. I pray, Lord, that you give them a special blessing for coming out. Lord, for those who are watching us on the live stream, I pray, Lord, that you just be with them and help that they got something out of the service. And Lord, I pray that everything we do and everything we say is blessed and glorifies the name of Jesus and blesses his name. In Jesus' name we pray.